By now, we're all familiar with Kendrick's line on the Humble record. I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Photoshop. Give me something natural like an afro on Richard Pryor. Give me something natural like an ass with some stretch marks. He's talking about beauty standards that we are all very familiar with. There are beauty standards for women just like there are beauty standards for men. And those of you who are a bit confused about that, well, just think of a fucking cartoon like Dragon Ball Z when you were a kid. Those are creating preconditioned beauty standards in the sense of to feel like you are a man, to feel like you are a alpha male, you have to have big bulging muscles like Goku. Or whatever the fuck cartoon you used to watch as a kid, you understand my point. Watching things like that as a child could condition you in a way to think that that's what you need to be. The only differences between men and women is that men are normally conditioned to be achievers and women are conditioned to be beautiful. So we are not taught as men to really praise or give as much of a shit about our looks, but it is a possibility and it does happen. You know, you are familiar with people who go to the gym and they have body dysmorphia. They are people who are already huge, but they believe like they are not big enough. Now, in that same sense, we have black women. We have black women who wear fake hair. And for whatever reason, they believe that it makes them more beautiful. And most people would say it is because they would then share a similarity to white women, to European women. So then they would be more appealing to the masses because they have been conditioned since they were children to believe that having long blonde hair makes you beautiful. Therein lies the problem that a lot of people have had with Nicki. For years, being this sort of Barbie image just feeds more into that narrative. Now that we got all of that out of the way, Kendrick obviously got attacked on Twitter because of these lyrics from the Humble record. And the reason why he's getting attacked is because it seems through the lyrics, the way that he phrases it, it would seem like he is praising a sector of black women and putting down another. By saying, I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Photoshop, he is then putting down women who maybe feel insecure about the way that they look and they have to Photoshop certain things. They have to wear certain things to make themselves be more beautiful or feel more beautiful. And he is praising women who choose to go natural. One thing that we have to remember when we're talking about these beauty standards, and by the way, this Humble video is really speaking on that, because that other scene where he's in the salon with all those women and they're looking at those beauty magazines and they're just so hell-bent on looking a certain way and crossing their legs at the same time as if it's a sign of conformity, the way they look like synchronized swimmers, just one leg over the other at the very same time. It's also more commentary on beauty standards and how women they capitulate to these standards. What we have to remember about these things is when you are addressing someone for being sick and tired of their Photoshop, is that part of that conditioning is the identification with that conditioning. The identification with the fact that if you critique someone because they have a certain hair, that's already been embedded into their personality. It's they already have identified with that look, so it's so much more deeper than just wearing a wig or just wearing a weave or covering up your Instagram. The Photoshop thing is really kind of weird because I kind of felt that was a bit lazy on Kendrick's part by saying Photoshop because it sounded better, but I think the proper way to word it would have been, I'm so fucking sick and tired of these filters. How corny would it have been if he would have said, I'm so sick and tired of these Instagram filters and these Snapchat filters? Because that's really what he's addressing. And the way it was boxed in and framed in the video, it looks like social media. So it becomes a part of somebody's identity, so they take a big offense to it. Now, I understand the anger and the outrage out there for several reasons, but it's totally misdirected when you're coming at Kendrick. I mean, if he is a part of a music genre that's trashed women for years, and he's making an effort to make a call of action for women to be more natural, then that's a positive thing. Somebody who is a feminist can, of course, spin that and say, well, it's not up to him to tell us to demand it. It's a part of his male privilege to demand it and to say he's so sick and tired of the Photoshop. How dare he talk to us like that? With that sort of outrage, we'll never really get anywhere, because if he is going to be at the forefront of this black consciousness, if he's going to be at the forefront of this to nitpick away at the certain things that he says is really counterproductive. Would this line have been so offensive if he just would have said, ladies, give me something natural like an afro on Richard Pryor, give me something natural like an ass with some stretch marks, and he would have erased the Photoshop line? There probably wouldn't have been as much outrage. The part of this that disgusts me is sort of a variation of what I mentioned, because of the identification and you know, people really getting attached to these ideas of beauty, is that it feeds into this Instagram world of these sort of soulless fucking women who don't bring any talents to the table, and feminists going against Kendrick kind of validates those women, because we sort of have to congratulate them for being vapid and being fake and plastic, and we should empower them because they are women and their choices as women and all that bullshit. It's like, no, I do mostly agree with what Kendrick is saying. I mean, I absolutely agree with what Kendrick is saying. I always prefer a woman to be natural over somebody who looks plastic. And to go against Kendrick sort of suggests that we should be more inviting or more understanding of these people who've been victimized by white supremacy, who have been victimized of these beauty standards. No, I mean, it's a simple decision, really. I don't feel like these people should be praised or they should really be understood. I think they should always be critiqued. I think they should always be questioned, because if they're not questioned, then where are we going? You know, what are we accepting? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys agree with these feminists against Kendrick Lamar? And of course, Kendrick's album drops tomorrow. Are you excited about that? Of course you are. You guys are fucking Kendrick stans. Please let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time.